You walk into a Firestone for a simple oil change, routine service. You've done it 100 times. But something's different this time. The mechanic comes out holding a filthy air filter, shaking his head. Your battery failed their test. The alignment you prepaid for? Impossible. Your tie rods are frozen solid. By the time you leave, your $30 oil change has become a $400 nightmare. Here's the truth that contradicts what most people believe. This isn't bad luck or a few bad employees. The evidence shows it's a documented, systematic pattern. Washington State sued them in 2005 for deceptive practices. A class action lawsuit was filed in Florida this April. The settlements total in the millions. What you're experiencing isn't incompetence or coincidence. It's a profitable business model disguised as automotive service. Once you understand how it works, you may be better equipped to avoid potential issues. They quote you $299, $96 for 4 tires. Fair price. You approve the work. But when they hand you the final invoice, the total is $357. You scan the receipt, confused. There's a line item, road hazard protection, a 14% markup on each tire. Below that, TPMS valve service kit labor for $3, 14. Scrap tire recycling fee for $2, 53. Some customers report feeling that Firestone Complete Auto Care services were not clearly agreed upon beforehand. Firestone Complete Auto Care offers optional add-ons like road hazard protection and service kits that contribute to their revenue, though the specific profit margin impact per transaction is not publicly documented. Some customers report that Firestone staff did not proactively explain charges in detail, though the specific statistic about 8 out of 10 customers lacks empirical support. Most customers assume these are mandatory taxes or operational fees. They're not. They're entirely optional warranties designed to inflate your bill. The class action complaint is crystal clear. Employees simply tendered the final invoice without any explanation as to what the various charges were for. Washington State called it a deceptive practice of including optional services on estimates. Your protection phrase is this: before you hand over your credit card, read every single line item on the final invoice out loud. If anything wasn't discussed during the quote, demand its immediate removal. Say exactly this: remove any warranty or protection plan I didn't specifically request. Most victims pay the inflated total, never realizing they just bought insurance they never wanted. You bought a lifetime alignment package. Smart move. Unlimited alignments for life. But when you return for your free service, they keep your car for hours. Finally, the mechanic emerges with bad news. We can't perform the alignment. Your tie rod sleeves are frozen solid. They need to be replaced before we can proceed. The quote? $280. Sometimes it's control arm bolts. Sometimes it's ball joints. Often expensive. Firestone's lifetime alignment service includes complimentary realignment checks every 6,000 miles or upon request, subject to specific warranty conditions and exclusions. Here's what actually happens. They take your car into the bay, run the clock to make you feel like they tried, then fabricate a suspension failure. In Baton Rouge, Kevin was told his tie rod sleeves were frozen. He drove home, grabbed a wrench, and found the sleeves turned with ease. Nothing was frozen. In Totowa, New Jersey, a customer's frozen control arm bolts were easily loosened by his personal mechanic. A year later, Firestone tried the identical scam on the same car. They know they won't make money on your free alignment, so they manufacture a reason to convert it into a $280 to $1,800 suspension rebuild. Your protection action is immediate. Refuse the suspension work and say this: show me the frozen part while the car is on the lift. If they claim privacy or liability concerns, you've caught them. Drive to an independent shop within the hour for confirmation. You're driving to work when that dreaded amber light appears on your dashboard. Check engine. Your heart sinks. You pull into the nearest Firestone, hoping it's something minor. They run a diagnostic. $100 fee that seems reasonable for answers. 20 minutes later, the mechanic approaches with a clipboard and a serious expression. Your spark plugs are completely shot, he explains. The quote? $1,357. 19. Your mind races. You need your car for work tomorrow. Expensive, but what choice do you have? You pay. You drive off, relieved your car is fixed. Some customers report that Firestone Complete Auto Care may not have replaced their spark plugs during service visits, despite it being recommended in their maintenance schedule. Justin from Texas discovered this through photographic evidence and recorded admissions from Firestone staff proving the fraud. His 2018 Chevy Silverado's original plugs were still installed. They allegedly charged over $1,300 for work that was reportedly never performed. The pattern repeats across the country. A clutch kit replacement for $1,000. The original clutch was never touched. An $8,500 exhaust system rebuild. Only a fuel pump and spark plugs were needed. A $400 blower motor replacement. The issue was a $15 transistor. But here's the invisible part. They manipulate the diagnostic baselines. Susan in Illinois caught them inputting the wrong CCA rating for her battery. Her battery was rated for 410 CCA, but they entered 550 CCA into their computer. The machine automatically flagged her perfectly good battery as failed. Your protection phrase when they show you diagnostic results. Show me the specific trouble code on the scanner and the manufacturer's specification you're testing against. If they refuse, you're being scammed. Pay only the diagnostic fee and drive to an independent shop for a real diagnosis. You find a battery online for $99.99. Firestone's website confirms it fits your exact make and model. You drive to the store, but suddenly that battery doesn't fit your car. They install a different battery and charge you $188. Danielle in Chicago experienced this exact scenario. Her husband checked under the hood and confirmed Firestone had installed the exact article number from the $99.99 online quote. The employee couldn't explain the lie. Or you bring in a $19.99 oil change coupon. They upgrade your oil without permission and charge $60.68. Roger in Louisiana was quoted $369 for tie rod work. When he picked up his car, the bill was $468. No additional work was performed. No notification was given. The pattern is systematic. They use low online prices and coupons to capture foot traffic, then leverage the fact that you need your car back to extract higher margins. They'll claim your coupon is invalid, your car needs special fluid, or the quoted part is the wrong size. Your protection strategy requires two actions. First, demand a printed, out-the-door estimate matching your coupon or online price before handing over your keys. Second, if they change the price, pull up your car's specifications on your smartphone to prove fluid capacity or part compatibility. Manufacturer documentation, such as warranties, can help resolve disputes at auto service centers. The mechanic walks into the lobby holding a disgusting, completely clogged air filter. "This came out of your car," he says, shaking his head. "You need a replacement immediately." You're embarrassed. You approved the $35 replacement. Some filters may be aftermarket or remanufactured parts rather than original equipment manufacturer, OEM components, depending on the service facility's sourcing practices. It's a prop. They keep filthy filters on hand specifically for this performance. A customer in Des Moines, who writes his name and date on his filters in Sharpie, was shown a dirty, unmarked filter. When he walked to the service bay, his hood was still closed. His airbox hadn't been opened, or consider the free courtesy inspection sabotage. You bring a perfectly running car in for an oil change. They perform their complimentary inspection. When you leave, your car mysteriously develops a catastrophic failure. An elderly man in Lakeland brought his 2013 Nissan Sentra in for oil service. Firestone forced a $169 alignment and noted the clutch looked burned out. The car couldn't accelerate upon leaving. A Nissan dealer confirmed the clutch was destroyed, despite working perfectly before Firestone touched it. The most invisible scam. You will never catch this unless you know to look. The counterfeit OEM switch. They quote premium prices, swearing they only use OEM parts. You pay extra for original equipment manufacturer quality, but they install cheap aftermarket parts anyway. You might not realize this if the parts work initially and you have no reason to inspect part numbers months later. When confronted in San Marcos, California, the manager gaslighted the victim. Parts are to OEM specs, not OEM. Some customers claim they paid high prices for subpar aftermarket parts without realizing it. Jordan's 2009 Chevy Traverse went in for a routine oil change in Greensboro. 1,600 miles later, the engine exploded on the highway, ejecting a connecting rod through the engine sidewall. The Chevrolet dealership found the smoking gun, Firestone had pumped 12 quarts of motor oil into an engine requiring 5.5 quarts. The excess oil destroyed the crankcase. Repair cost over $13,000. Firestone's insurer denied the claim, arguing it was impossible for the car to drive that far before failing. Tony in Chicago discovered his brake line had been bent 3 to 4 feet to fit his Ford Explorer. Instead of buying a $35 cutting tool, the mechanic bent the line into balloon animal-type shapes. They tried to send him home without mentioning the dangerous modification. In Wilmington, a customer's engine valve bent after Firestone replaced spark plugs. Independent mechanics confirmed the valve only bends when the intake manifold is removed, work exclusively performed by Firestone. They denied the warranty. The pattern is either gross negligence or intentional sabotage designed to generate future business. Your car works perfectly when you drop it off. It fails catastrophically after pickup. They claim coincidence, blame the age of your vehicle, or demand you sign confidentiality agreements for any compensation. Your protection protocol starts before service. Take clear, time-stamped photos under the hood and chassis in their parking lot before handing over your keys. If your car drives erratically after service at a shop, consider investigating the issue and trying a different shop if problems persist. Have it towed directly to a dealership for documentation. Memorize these exact phrases. Best practices for vehicle service include requesting a written estimate before work begins, clearly declining optional add-ons like road hazard protection, asking technicians to explain diagnostic findings, reviewing itemized charges before payment, and understanding your rights regarding unauthorized work. Customers should document concerns and know their options if disputes arise, though specific policies vary by location and service provider. Your documentation protocol can include photograph your engine bay and undercarriage before service, keep all estimates and invoices, and often record any verbal admissions on your smartphone. The power dynamic shifts the moment you demonstrate you know their tactics. Some mechanics may discontinue questionable practices when faced with potential exposure or regulatory scrutiny. You're not at their mercy. They need your business more than you need their service. Remember Kevin from Baton Rouge, who drove home and proved his tie rods weren't frozen with a simple wrench. The mechanic wasn't stronger than physics. He was counting on your ignorance. You just eliminated that advantage.